a few days ago. This was recorded a few days ago.
Okay, so if you don't know me, so far I've been rambling away. My name's Jacqueline Rose. And out of here too. Here we go. Yay! I made it! There she is. Everybody say hi.
My phone's in the right direction.
Yes. Horizontal.
Everyone.
You like that?
Yes. Yes.
Everybody say hi to her. I'm gonna close these notifications off so I don't get too distracted. But hi Adele, you look beautiful. Oh, thank you, girl. I took a shower for you. Can you smell it? Yeah. So everybody that's watching or later on replay, let us know if yes. We'll have to take a moment to respond. Hello, Amy. Okay, perfect. So if you're watching live, go ahead and drop a 1 so we know you're there and we can say hi to you later. If you're watching on replay, a 2. Wow, Sean Gately. Wow, nice to see you. How do you know Adele? No, Sean. Oh my gosh. He was a mentor at HEC at Azusa Pacific University for me. How do you know him? Interesting. He's helping me with my back. Ah, that's a good one. I love it. Well, hello there. So I'm going to get to it. If you don't know who I am, my name's Jacqueline Rose. I'm a certified athletic trainer. I worked for 10 years in a clinical setting with a sports med doc, non-surgical sports med. I've recently relocated to Arizona and have created a online-based service for the community with injury prevention. And it's just recently rolled out and developing through Jacqueline Rose AZ Life, and you can find that on Facebook and Instagram. My kind of purpose and mission is to help empower people to better self-care in whatever that looks like for you, and give you some support along the way and independence and advocate for yourself, and give you some of the tools and resources so you feel better equipped to do that. And then Adele. So a quick bio on Adele. I met Adele in college. My husband went to school with her at the University of Laverne, and I was at Azusa Pacific University. She was playing collegiate volleyball, so we've got a stud athlete here. So, and then I've continued to know her and get to know her and follow her through the Fit Life with Adele. If you don't know that, we'll put a link in at the bottom. You can find it on Facebook and Instagram, right?
Yes, Instagram is Fit with Adele, and then Facebook is the Fit Life with Adele.
Perfect. Perfect. So if you follow her, you'll get to see this beautiful face and a lot of her exercise tips and wellness, kind of her mission and purpose, kind of empowering women to be healthier and any, awareness of their body, and at the same time not sacrificing all the good things in life and benefits in life, and really finding that healthy balance. She's in Claremont, California. So the benefit for all of you, no matter where you are, you can access her resources, and she can coach you along the way remotely through online here with social media. So that's exciting. She has been developing the Fit Life with Adele for 5 years. She's been in personal training as a certified personal trainer and Pilates instructor for 10 years. And when she has free time, she's chasing around an almost 2-year-old named Gwen. She's a mom as well. So we would love to learn how you do. So welcome, Adele.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. Thank you for having me here, Jacqueline. I'm excited to be here and talk about some fun stuff today.
Awesome. Thank you. So we're going to keep this brief for you guys and kind of get some wisdom and tips and advice that Adele has shared with all her clients. And then more personal requests or questions, go ahead and reach out to Adele. If you have questions for me, you can reach out to me, of course, as well, or I can connect the two of you, and vice versa. So we would love to hear what you have to say, and we're going to listen. I've got an open-ended question for you to start with. Better. Okay, so you can add to this as much as you'd like. And I'm going to start with some of maybe the most misguided and frequently misguided approaches individuals have often to fitness and wellness. What would those be in your opinion, and what you hear, what you see, what you found through your professional experience in regards to fitness, diet, and maybe some of the reasons why those fail? My first question.
Yeah, that's such a great question. We're on a little bit of a delay here, so if I haven't said already, thank you so much for having me today. I'm really excited to chat about this stuff. So the question is it's very broad, right? Because there is a ton of misinformation out there. And that's one of the things I'm most passionate about sharing and helping break down that information when it comes to eating and exercise, because I feel like the fitness industry, the health industry has really done us a disservice to the general population about what works and what doesn't. So when I was thinking about this question and some of the misguided advice out there, two things came to mind. One being this emphasis on diets, and that dieting is the key to success when it comes to sustainable weight or fat loss, or even health in general. And then also the type of exercise that we should be doing for sustainable fat loss. And this all falls under an approach that advises to eat less and exercise more is the answer. Because what typically happens here is we are not feeling the best about ourselves. We want to lose weight, get in better shape, whatever it might be. So at that point, we drastically reduce our caloric intake, and at the same time, we drastically increase our energy expenditure in terms of exercise. So what typically happens is, while we might see some initial weight loss or fat loss, it's not always sustainable. And that's really the key for me when I'm helping my clients, is to help them find something that is sustainable and something that works in their life. So diets, yeah, you might see that initial weight loss, but what good is that if that's not something you can sustain in the long term? Plus, diets tend to be stressful. They kind of create an unhealthy relationship with food, and kind of give us this mindset that certain foods are okay and certain foods are not. And my theory really is that everything in moderation is fine. Of course, we want to steer towards healthier choices because they're more nutrient dense and they can help sustain our bodies better, help us function better. But at the same time, there's room in our diets for bread, chocolate, wine. And I would really like to help people try to realize that they can have a moderate diet while reaching their goals. I knew I was going to get a happy for the wine and chocolate and bread.
Thumbs up for the wine and chocolate.
Yes, exactly. So, and I think a lot of people think that they can't have these things in their diet, and they feel like, okay, I'm eating my egg whites and spinach, or I'm going out to dinner and I can never have a piece of bread. How is that really helping us as far as the sustainability and enjoyment factor?
Oh, thank you. When you do speak with someone that is interested in starting a diet, there's so many out there right now, that are obviously, meant to be a diet, hence the term. And this is their way of kickstarting their health and wellness program. What's your response to that? Because I hear that a lot. Like, this is what I'm going to do to start out. Then I'm going to try this. Or, of course, more often than not, there's going to be a lot of starting over happening at some point.
Yeah, and that's a great question. So what I think about, I hear a lot of people too, especially I have an in-person clientele. I probably train over 40 people a week. I have an online clientele, so I hear that a lot of different people wanting to try different diets. So sometimes, especially like you said, a common response is, I just need to do, just using this as an example, I just need to do the whole 30 just to get back on track. Then once I'm back on track, then I can start to eat healthy, but I just need this as a jump start. And, I'm not saying that if you've ever tried a diet that's bad, or that it's not going to give you some insight to your likes or dislikes, or what works or what doesn't work. But if your intention is to have sustainable change over the long term, I would highly caution against doing a diet. And diets are kind of enticing, right? They feel motivating, they feel fun. We're often more motivated before the diet than actually doing it. It's like we get our, we go to the store, we get all our foods, we do all our meal prep. It kind of feels good to be eating or whole meals. But then what happens when we go to a party and there's pizza? Or what happens when we go out for drinks with girlfriends? Like, we want to learn how to be able to manage those situations without overdoing it. And still, like I said before, still finding that enjoyment factor in life. So what I tell people, if they're really set on wanting to try a certain diet, everyone's entitled to their own experience, right? So I always tell my clients, if that's something you really want to try, go for it, but try to keep in mind these different things, like the things we talked about, the sustainability of the diet. Does it allow for enjoyment? Will it create an unhealthy relationship with food and the things you're eating? Will it set a mind certain foods are good or certain foods are bad, and how is that actually going to benefit you in the long run? So those are the types of things I try to point out to a person wanting to do a diet, but oftentimes if people feel really passionate about, they're going to do it anyways, and that's fine. But those are the kind of tips and insights I like to give people.
I like that, a healthy relationship with food, because it really is biopsychosocial. All of our health and wellness is tied up into that. So great tips.
Absolutely.
Adele, one more caveat to that question would be how you kind of gear the fitness regimen. Are you focusing on people's weight loss goals or their body composition, and how you test that or gear that, or what you're focused on with that to get around their mindset? And
yeah, so a lot of times clients want weight loss, and I know for the most part when clients say weight loss, they want fat loss, because weight loss can change. I always use this example. You can go out for a night of drinking and be dehydrated and lose weight. That's not necessarily healthy. You can eat a meal at a higher sodium content and gain weight. That's not necessarily unhealthy. So weight can fluctuate from day to day. We can gain a few more pounds because we're gaining muscle, which could in turn be lessening our body fat, but it might not show that on the two clients who weight loss is the primary goal. If you have a significant amount of weight to lose, then yes, there is some merit in measuring weight. If you have just say 50 pounds to lose, I would assume that you would go down in weight. But when it comes to maybe the last 10 pounds that a lot of people are dealing with as well, weight loss isn't always the best. Looking to have enhanced fit. You can take photos to students, but also I really like to encourage with my clients, aesthetic goals are fine. That's totally fine. I know people want to look good and feel good, but I also try to include goals as like, what about getting stronger? What about feeling better? What about noticing the difference of how that impacts your life? It's easier to carry all the groceries in from the car in one trip. What about those little things? That's physically and the way we feel on a daily basis. So like I said, aesthetic goals are not wrong, but I'd include all the different elements and benefits of fitness and exercise into the big picture.
awesome. Thank you. Very good. Let's see what time we're at here. Looks like we're at 13 minutes. I have one more question I'd like to mix in. And that would be how you implement an online-based coaching, and maybe how you can help people watching, no matter where they are, maybe some tips and tricks you have to making that successful in this online-based coaching business you essentially started.
Yeah, one of the best things about and why I started the online coaching is because I'm able to reach so many more people. So whether someone lives somewhere else in California or across the country or even in the world, I can work with them different level than I might work with my in-person clients. So I always tell people, like, if you're the kind of person, someone, in the gym with you, by your side, motivating you, online coaching might not always be the best choice. But if you just need that accountability, that support, and actually I feel like I'm able to work closely with my online clients because I'm focused on what they're doing as a whole in the entirety of their life, not just the 30 minutes I have with a client in the gym. Because it's hard to train a client for 30 minutes and then send them away for the week and not be able to have as much access with them. But in the online space, it's great to be able to have that email check-in or that Skype check-in. And a lot of times what I do with clients is I either have coaching or I have moms, and they get a workout. We either have one-on-one communication or we have a community of moms. And that is really a great element for success for a lot of people, because sometimes you just want someone to check in and say, hey, did you get your workout in? Or hey, look what I did. I did this workout. I haven't worked out in a month and I got 3 workouts in this week. So to have someone to be able to celebrate those successes with on an ongoing basis is great. And like I said, some people really want that one-on-one attention where I really tune in and help them and audit a program where they're going to build strength over time or lose weight or lose fat or whatever the goal is. Some people like the community aspect where you just have other people to relate to. And then, like I said, my group is of moms. So I really do that. I guess I would say overall, the online coaching, one of the aspects I really like about it is that I really do get to get involved with my clients' life as a whole, help them make changes as a whole with diet and exercise and even mindset, which I'm big on mindset.
Yes, you're very accessible this way. I love that. And as a fellow mompreneur like you, I always commend and appreciate seeing your face out there, and anyone else that's had the courage to be able to share and through social media and build something that they're passionate about. And I'm definitely learning through you, so thank you for that. And I applaud anyone else that is pursuing those goals and those passions. It's very commendable. So thank you, and I appreciate you being here and taking your time out of your morning. So thank you for your words of wisdom.
Yes, thank
you.
you.
Reach out to
Adele
if you have any questions or if you have more specific questions.
Thanks so much,
Thank you. Good morning, and have a good rest of your day.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Goodbye.